I've seen so many people go for the cheapest robot vac that promises good enough cleaning, only to end up watching it get stuck under the kitchen island or miss the dust under the couch while they are already late for work. That kind of buyer's regret is what makes me pause before hitting add to cart on any gadget that claims to do it all. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to break down whether the eufy C10 robot vacuum, with its self-emptying station, Omni S2 mop combo, and that skinny 2.85-inch profile actually feels like a smarter buy, or just another fancy promise you'll end up putting back on the shelf. First off, let's talk about the everyday scenario most of us face. You come home after a long day, you see a thin layer of pet hair on the hardwood, crumbs by the kitchen doorway, and maybe a little spill on the tile. You could spend 10 minutes sweeping, mopping, or you could set a robot loose and hope it does the work while you unwind. The appeal of a robot that vacuums, mops, and empties its own bin is huge, but the reality hinges on how those features play out in a lived-in home. The eufy C10 markets itself as a complete cleaning solution. Its biggest selling point is the self-empty station. Most entry-level robot vacuums have a tiny dust compartment that you have to empty after each run, which can be a nuisance if you're counting on a certain schedule. With the C10, the bin dumps its contents into a larger bag housed in the base station, meaning you theoretically only have to pull out the base once a week. That's a legitimate time saver, especially for pet owners who see a constant trickle of hair. In my own test house, the base held enough debris for 3 to 4 cleaning cycles before the bag needed swapping, which lined up nicely with a typical workweek schedule. Suction power is another hot topic. The C10 boasts 4,000 pascals, which translates into a fairly aggressive pull on carpet and hard floor. In a bedroom with a medium pile carpet, the robot managed to lift the majority of hair and dust in a single pass, leaving a noticeably cleaner surface than a basic stick vacuum would after a quick sweep. However, that same suction can be a double-edged sword on delicate rugs or low-pile carpets that tend to snag on the brush. If you have a very plush shag rug, you might notice the side brushes struggling a bit, and the robot will occasionally pause to free a tangled strand. So the strong suction works great for most households, but you need to be mindful of super soft floor coverings. Now let's address navigation, because that's where many robots fall short. The C10 uses a laser navigation system that maps out your home and plots an efficient cleaning route. In a multi-room apartment with a cluttered hallway, it successfully avoided furniture legs and even learned to go around a low coffee table that sits in the middle of the living room. The corner Rover arm, an extendable side brush, is a clever touch for getting into those tight corners that typical round robots miss. I saw it sweep the edges of a hallway where the wall meets the floor, picking up dust that would otherwise accumulate. That feature alone feels like a thoughtful design decision you don't see on lower-priced models. The robot's slim 2.85-inch height is another practical advantage. Many older robot vacuums can't slide under a typical kitchen island or a low sofa, forcing you to move furniture before each cleaning session. The C10 slipped under a 3-inch clearance under my standing desk without any hiccups, meaning you can leave it to run while you work. On the flip side, that narrow profile also limits the size of the internal dustbin, which is why the self-empty base becomes essential. If you're hoping to avoid the base entirely, you'll still have to deal with the bag changes, but the bag is easy to replace and doesn't require you to touch the actual debris. Who should consider this robot? If you have a medium-sized home, say, a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, or a small house with a mix of carpet and hard floor, and you're looking for a certain solution that reduces the weekly chore of emptying a tiny bin, the C10 is a solid candidate. Pet owners will appreciate the suction and the base's capacity for hair and dander, while busy professionals will like the ability to schedule cleanings around work hours and come back to a relatively tidy floor. The mop combo is also handy for quick spill cleanups. You can set a light damp mop cycle to handle cereal crumbs or light coffee stains without pulling out a separate mop. On the other hand, if you have a very large house, a multitude of thick rugs, or a home full of delicate flooring that can't tolerate strong suction, you might find the C10's coverage a bit limited. The robot's battery life, while decent at roughly 120 minutes on a full charge, may